mistake about it. Chauvin is in the courtroom, but America's on trial. Right. America's on trial to see if we have gotten to the place where we can hold police accountable if they break the law.
Welcome back. That's, of course, Reverend Al Sharpton speaking ahead of opening statements in the Derek Chauvin trial that began last Monday. Chauvin is the former Minneapolis police officer charged in the killing of George Floyd. The defense is suggesting Floyd died from drug use and underlying health conditions, while the prosecution says he died from excessive force of Chauvin kneeling on Floyd's neck. More than a dozen witnesses have testified so far, much of it very powerful.
I know that this is difficult. Can you just explain sort of what you're feeling in this moment?
I feel helpless.
Chauvin is facing 2 murder charges, second-degree unintentional murder and third-degree murder. There's also a lesser charge of second-degree manslaughter. Well, Gwen Carr is the mother of Eric Garner. He's a black man who died at the hands of police in the U.S. His final words, "I can't breathe," which he uttered 11 times, are now considered a rallying cry at protests against police brutality right around the world. Gwen Carr is the author of the book This Stops Today. It's a memoir about her son's life and his killing. And she has become an advocate for justice. She's also been standing in solidarity with Floyd's family. Gwen Carr joins me now. Gwen Carr, nice to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I appreciate you being here. We're all, the whole world, watching this trial in Minneapolis. You've been there to support Floyd's family throughout all of this. What have you been telling them this week?
Well, this week, is very trying. It's very tense because, we are awaiting the outcome. We want to see what's going to happen, if we are going to get true justice, which I haven't gotten in my case and so many others have never gotten. But the whole world seen, as they seen with my son being murdered, they seen when George Floyd was murdered, they seen it was blatantly outrage. It was just so unnecessary. And now they're trying to defend him. I really wouldn't want that job, because how would you defend a monster of someone who took someone's life intentionally, as he begged for it, as my son did?
Yeah,
I'm outraged what's going on.
When you hear Reverend Sharpton, who I know you work with on a regular basis, Ms. Carr, when you hear Reverend Sharpton say that this is America on trial, do you think that he's overstating things, or is that the way the country is looking at this trial?
No, that is not an overstatement at all, because America has to come to grips with there is a problem with them over-policing when it comes to the black and brown community. We get no justice. So this is a chance for America to show itself and show that they're trying to reform the police officers. They're trying to make America a better place for us to live, a safer place for us to live here, because we are citizens just like everyone else.
How would you describe how George Floyd's family and friends are holding up this week from what you've heard from them?
Well, they're trying to hold up. It's not easy. Even in the overflow room, there's breakdowns. So it's just emotional.
Yeah.
You just can't describe the atmosphere, because it's one moment, everyone is okay. The next moment, all you have to do is hear a testimony, especially when someone is trying to defend Chauvin, and there's no defense for him. There is none.
How hard is it for you to be there, Ms. Carr, given what happened to your son, and given, as you said, you did not get justice? How difficult is it for you to sort of relive some of that?
It's very difficult, but it's necessary, because we have to show the world that we're going to stand together. And there are so many other Eric Garners and George Floyds in the world that no one even know about, no one even heard about. So we have to get there. We have to stand with those families also. We have to share the platform to say, this is not right. We are coming and we are going to stand for justice and we are going to demand justice. And this is what we want at this point. Justice is what we demand.
Is this what Eric, your son, would have expected of you, for you to become an advocate and a supporter of other Americans who experience this?
Well, I never expected to be an advocate. I was just living a normal life. But I know if he's looking down on me, he's saying, hooray for my mom, because he know I will go the whole 9 yards for him. And because if I was in his place, I know it might have been a little different than me being so calm about, what's going, and I'm going about it the right way. He might not have done that.
What would you like, in Canada, we have our own racial tensions, certainly, but we've watched these things unfold in the United States over so many years now, including the case of your son, which I remember vividly. What would you like Canada to know about how the United States is still struggling with policing against, as you say, Black and brown people?
Yes, the struggle goes on because we have to make America realize, New York, and all states included, realize that there is a problem, because they don't seem to realize that there's a problem. They think that we are just complaining. But now, one thing COVID did, it made the world sit still and see what was actually going on around this nation. And now that's why we have so many different races, so many different nationalities to come out to say that this is not right. And it shouldn't be like a one-way street. It should be everyone standing for everyone. You just can't stand for some. You have to stand for all.
Do you think that this is a turning point, Gwen Carr, in racial justice in the United States?
Well, I am praying so hard that it is. Yeah. Because with my son, I thought it was a turning point. And you see, I got no justice. One police officer was fired after a departmental trial, but none of the police officers was held accountable. None of them was charged with my son's murder after it happened. At least in George Floyd's case, the police officers were fired immediately. Mm-hmm. That was a step in the right direction. And I think him being on trial, Chavis being on trial, is another step in the right direction. So I'm hoping that America is coming to grips with this unlawful treatment of the Black and brown communities, and it will be a better place to live after this.
Gwen Carr, thank you. I know you must be a great support to George Floyd and his family and friends, and I sure appreciate you sharing your very tragic experience as well. Thank you for giving us your voice today. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. You too.